Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I had me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Realest podcast.
What up, what up? We back. The realest podcast ever, reporting live from the back of somebody's school.
Yeah, literally.
These little cool little desk here. Got my little swivel. You know what I'm saying?
Having a desk where the swivel don't lock, though, is like some idiotic shit. Like,
just gonna swivel and swivel and swivel, man. We are back here on Revolt Podcast Network, doing what we do best, man. Talking about all the hot topics and fashion news, sports, politics, music, entertainment news, and everything in between. Today's show, I think, is going to be a little more singular. Talking about the music industry. So a lot of things going on, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're not subscribed, subscribe now. Hit that notification bell, and also share this video so that all of your followers, your subscribers, know that you're rocking with TRPE. If you're listening to this on Revolt Podcast Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you receive podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the feed so you get notifications for this audio as well. Today's show, man, we're going to talk about all the ups, downs, and arounds of the music business. We're coming off of music's biggest night, which is the Grammys. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of social media fodder, a lot of talk about the Grammys, a lot of group chat action and stuff like that about who won, who got snubbed, Jay-Z's speech, Global Impact Award, Best New Artist, this, that, and the third, and pretty much everything in between. And with that in mind, we don't want to leave no stone unturned. We're going to talk about it all. I think that the biggest surprise of the Grammys was it's two things. One, they didn't televise the rap category again, and they had been televising it the last couple of years, but they didn't televise any of them this time. So that was strange. And then two, not that I'm surprised, but people were surprised, and I could just see the reactions on all of the blog sites, entertainment news sites, and all of that, which is Killer Mike almost sweeping the rap categories, except with the exception of the Lil Durk and J. Cole, All My Life, that won Best Rap Song Collaboration. Mm-hmm. I believe Best Melodic Rap Song. They won, but he won the three other, major rap categories or whatever. So I think that it's appropriate, probably, to start with the shock. You know what I'm saying?
Was there shock to you?
To me, no.
Killer Mike is rap at this juncture. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many subgenres of rap.
Yes.
That you really can't. Like, how do you properly put Kendrick Lamar? Morales and the Steppers. What was it called?
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
How do you put that up against Lil Uzi or vice versa? You know, it's just so many different places that rap goes now. So when I saw the list of the albums that were nominated, I'm like, Drake and 21 are out.
Yeah.
Utopia, I can't really see it. I'm like, realistically, it's going to be Killer Mike. I kind of told myself that already, going off of the Grammys format for how they award rap music. Now, I don't like the way they award rap music. I don't like the way they handle rap music. I don't like the way they do any genre of like black music. I don't like the way they do any of it. So I knew that was what was going to happen, and I understand why it happened before it happened. You have a song with Andre 3000 and Future, that's going to win something. Your Killer Mike, who did the whole 6-part series on Netflix, with the what was it called?
Trigger Warning.
Trigger Warning. It makes sense for them to give you a rap Grammy.
Yeah, it made perfect sense. And I think the thing that people have hung their hat on over the last few years is they've conflated that, the Grammys only awards people with big commercial success and and that's how Macklemore beats Kendrick Lamar and y'all are out of touch and and not realizing it's less about the commercial success and more about the intersection of critical acclaim with what you're saying with the commercial success. And it's like, if we don't have the intersection of the critical acclaim and like a content message, we'll just default to commercial.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Grammy, I have a lot of gripe with the Grammys, but I also have a lot of gripe with niggas. You know what I mean? And
niggas are very gripeable.
They're very, very gripeable. I at times question if the Grammys ever got it right when it comes to especially best rap album.
Yeah.
That's not me trying to be funny. I can tell you 7 albums that changed the course of like Earth. Not just hip hop. I mean just Earth that didn't win a best rap album Grammy. And then I can tell you a bunch of albums where I personally, the only path I see is some Cat Williams shit, and I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it don't make logical sense.
Yeah.
When I look at the fact that Doggy Style didn't win a best rap Grammy, when I see that Chronic didn't win a best rap Grammy,
Illmatic.
when I see that Illmatic, when I see that Life After Death didn't win a best rap Grammy, when I see that Get Rich or Die Trying didn't win a best, when I see that Good Kid, Mad City didn't win a best, so it's like it makes me sit back and just like, so y'all really never got it right. So it's basically like, is it a big fuck out of here to like urban music?
It's a big fuck out of here to street influenced music, and an attempt by the Recording Academy to shift the narrative that street-based hip-hop is the most important form of hip-hop, which it is. But their attempt to shift the narrative by saying, no. If you have a message that's socially conscious, that's introspective, that's uplifting your community, whatever, that's what we want to champion as the Academy. And I think it's important and to break down what the Academy is made up of. The Recording Academy of America is made up of a bunch of people that are in the music business on a professional level, meaning they make the bulk amount of their income from the music industry and its verticals and its ancillary parts that sprawl from the music industry. In order to become a member of the Recording Academy, the fucking criteria is very low. In fact, I could have became a member as somebody that was a promoter working in and around the concert in the hip hop industry, booking concerts, live shows, and performances for artists. So I could have became a member of the Recording Academy for over the span of a 15-year period. Probably now, not so much. But you basically have to apply. It's a very simple application. And then you have to have 2 commendations or recommendations from people that are already existing members. Mm-hmm. I know 3 or 4 people. One, my man Docs Ortho, and then 2, Sean Fallion, just off the rip. People that are members of the Recording Academy. So, I think that a couple, 2 or 3 other people I know that I can personally call on the phone are members as well. So it's one of them.
Like Ross said the other day, it was like Dot and Nana. Nana's at the award show. He's like, I know, like they're the only people I know who actually vote on the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so and Rob made a brilliant point the other night. He's like, yo, once I figured out how this shit works in the system and how you become a member and all of that stuff and how pretty much simple it is in order to become a member and part of a chapter and all of that, I stopped complaining because there's a disconnect of the street-based hip-hop and then the more conscious community, because the conscious community will figure out all the rubrics, all of the metrics on how to get involved in something to make their voice heard, and they will go be there, be present, be a member, go to the meetings, all of that, and vote based on their personal style of music that they prefer. Yeah, niggas that love the street, street niggas don't show up for nothing but motherfucking fish fries and funerals. Right. Like that's it. So it's like you can't expect them to go log on this freedom box here, as my man Dave Anderson so eloquently stated, and use it for anything other than Instagram Live and texting mad bitches. So with that in mind, it's like, yeah, there's always going to be a disparity of the street albums being honored at the Grammys because they're not represented at the voter booth. Does that sound familiar to you? The same way that niggas aren't properly represented at the voter booth when it's time to vote for judges, DAs, and city council and all of that, because they don't participate, they don't get a voice.
And when I went back and like when you go back and look at the best rap album, you know, it started in 96, which is a goddamn travesty right there. Like they didn't even have best rap album before 96.
Oh, them niggas make albums?
Yeah, oh damn, they make real music, huh? Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But you look at like Naughty by Nature won the first one. And Poverty's Paradise was good.
But it wasn't their best. That was
it wasn't
their
even
best.
In 1993. Yeah. But it's like you look at it, it was up against Tupac, Me Against the World, Bone Thugs and Harmony, E 1999, Old Dirty Bastard, Return of the 36 Chambers, and Skilo. And it's just like, I don't think this album had nowhere near the impact that Bone Thugs and Harmony had, let alone Tupac Me Against the World going #1 while he was in jail.
Or even ODB album.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's
and how the fuck did Skee-Lo even get nominated?
The next year you had The Score, that one from the Fugees. Now, granted, that album was massive and it had that massive record for Killing Me Softly, but it's like Pac dropped All Eyes on Me that year. You know what I'm saying? And it's like LL Smith dropped, Coolio dropped, and A Tribe Called Quest. Pac All Eyes on Me, by all metrics, is considered to be one of the greatest rap albums of all time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that right there, it's like this is a double album that went diamond. You know what I'm saying? That right there sets a precedent for hip hop. You know what I mean? And it's just those type of things where you have all these moments. You have, you know, Puff won the next year, Jay-Z won the next year, Eminem won the next year. You had Eminem won again the next year, Outkast won. Eminem won again for the Eminem show. Outkast 104, Kanye West 05, Kanye 06, Ludacris 07.
That was a robbery.
He won with Release Therapy, and I was happy for Ludacris to get a Grammy because I always liked Ludacris. But you're out of your mind if you think that album was better, had more impact, or reached where T.I.'s King went.
Yeah, it's just not true. But you know, but again, to the criteria, Ludacris made an album that was more centered, more introspective, and he had the Runaway Girl. And it's like that. As soon as he put that out, I said, this is going to win the fucking Grammy.
To that point, he just did an interview and he said when he did the song, when he did the album, he made the album for a Grammy. He was like, I feel like I'm always overlooked, overshadowed, overcasted. I'm making this album with a Grammy in mind. So he was like, when I finally got it, it was like, holy shit, it worked. I felt so good about it. He was like, when you came off the stage, he was like, they didn't have us in different dressing rooms. They just had curtains like sealing everybody off. And he was like, I was so hyped and I was screaming like, yeah, we did it. We finally fucking won it. We did it. We did it. He's like, and I heard this voice like, shut the fuck up. Some of us didn't win nothing tonight. And he said he pulled the curtain back and it was Justin Timberlake. But like,
about to have beef with motherfucking the Memphis congregation.
Yeah, man. But you know, you just look at it like for what it's worth. There are so many pivotal albums that have come out that for whatever reason, they never really get to that status. And not even just albums, songs. And like me personally, I can't tell you what song won that year. But that year, Rick Ross dropped BMF. I'd be hard pressed to find a song that had so much of a movement behind it. Or you look at what's another song that you could just throw out there that you just, you know, everybody was into at the moment.
A Millie.
I think a Millie won Grammys.
I mean, it should have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a Millie won something. Because Wayne won Best Rap Album that year, so I'm pretty sure he walked away with something for a Millie. But it's just a lot of music that has come out where it might not be represented on the chart. It might not be represented at MTV during that era.
Yeah.
But when you really get down to it, it's like, man, that song was every fucking where.
Yeah.
Like, remember what it was like when 50 Cent Mini Men dropped?
Oh, my goodness.
And how you just could not escape that record. Then you find out that it didn't even chart. And you just like, well, damn.
And to that point, you're making a brilliant point. They need, the Recording Academy is big enough and omnipresent enough. They should start issuing retroactive Grammys for certain records,
like how they do Lifetime.
Yes, for certain records, for certain songs and stuff like that. And it's maybe like one other time out of the year where it's like, it ain't even got to be this big gala and award show and all of that, where it's just like, yo, you know, based on performance and the fact that they already missed the whole era of hip hop by the fact that y'all didn't even recognize the fucking best rap album until 1996. Right. So from 85 to 95, you missed all of this classic music in what people basically consider as one of, if not the golden era of hip hop that you just missed. So fucking Eric B. and Rakim deserve a motherfucking Grammy. Illmatic deserves a fucking Grammy. Ready to Die deserves a fucking Grammy. I'm saying songs like Mini Men, you know, motherfucking, it's certain Southern records and stuff like that, that came about that were, like you said, wasn't represented on charts, but they have impacted culture. Fucking Boosie and Webby, Independent, like records like that shook Earth when it came to fucking nightclubs and performances and stuff like that, and actual cultural moments that are still referenced to this day. If you have something that comes out in 2005, 2006, and is still referenced going forward to 2024, how does that not meet the criteria of deserving to be recognized by the biggest fucking recording industry group of professionals that there is? Because y'all are supposed to be their peers. So if the peers aren't even saying we recognize this, we missed this, we fucked up, whatever, but we want to recognize it now with a Grammy or a citation or whatever, it's like, well, how are the people supposed to view it when it's like this shit was the soundtrack to my life?
To me, there's like a fork in the road aspect of like urban music when it comes to the Grammys. And I think the fork in the road is this. You could correct me if I'm wrong. I think we've established that when it comes to rap music, y'all are just wrong.
Yeah.
That y'all just get it wrong.
You get it wrong more than you get it right.
More times than you get it right. You know, Snoop doesn't have a Grammy.
Yeah.
Like
to
think
this
about
day.
that. Like honestly think about that. Snoop Dogg, like S-N-double-P, S-N-double-O. How you spell Snoop?
S-N-double-O-P.
S-N-double-O-P.
D-O-double-G.
D-O-double-G. You know Snoop spells his name in every record. Dude. Yeah. That's what's funny as shit. But like S-N-double-O-P doesn't have a Grammy. The man has 100 and something million records. So
yeah.
like,
how does Beautiful not have a Grammy?
How Beautiful? How does Drop It Like It's Hot not have a Grammy? You talk about controlling the airwaves.
Yeah.
Then you look at like 50 Cent. You know what 50 Cent is a Grammy for?
Some bullshit, bro.
Crack a bottle. You know what I mean? I forgot 50 Cent had that. Like, he don't got a Grammy for Wanksta,
right?
Or for Many Men, or for PIMP, or for 21 Questions. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He might have won for 21 Questions. I don't know. I don't think he does, though. But you look at T.I.'s catalog, you look at Jeezy's catalog, like you just mentioned Boosie. Set It Off is an anthem.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't matter to that side of the world, but it's a real live anthem. Yeah. And I look at it, like I said, the fork in the road is y'all get it wrong, right? With rap. The fork in the road for me is either y'all get it wrong with everybody, or it's just a blatant fuck y'all. We don't even care to go down the rabbit hole of fixing this. Because fuck the fact that the voting aspect is not something people take serious. From 1996 to 2024, you would think that would be something that you would just take on your own to say, you know what? We're going to shift the way this is, or we're going to highlight it and bring it to the forefront a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because to me, after Macklemore won that thing against Kendrick, y'all gave him a lifetime mulligan to where if Kendrick dropped,
he's winning. Yeah. If he in the category, that's his shit.
If Kendrick Lamar drop a Pootie Tang album, you remember when Pootie didn't say nothing on that? He drop a Pootie Tang album. Kendrick Lamar gonna win a Grammy for that shit.
But again, Kendrick operates on that vibration that's at the intersection of introspection and storytelling and being what they call daring and all of this old shit. And I love Kendrick. Don't get it fucked up. Like,
yeah,
I absolutely
50
love
has
Kendrick.
been nominated, I'm sorry to cut you off, Grammys, In the Club, Magic Stick, Best New Artist in 04, In the Club, Get Rich or Die Trying album, Hate It or Love It with Game, Duo, Encore, Curtains with Eminem, Disco Inferno, Best Rap Performance, Hate It or Love It, Duo, Candy Shop with Olivia, Best Rap Album with Massacre, Best Solo Performance, I Get Money, Best Rap Song Collaboration, AO Technology. He didn't win any of them. His only Grammy is Crack a Bottle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy as shit when you think about it.
That's sick.
All at 50, like, yo, not trying to be funny. And I saw a thing the other day. I told you, I got my Facebook back. You know what I'm saying? I can't reach the yellow button, but shout out to our brother Will Warren. Yes. He got my Facebook back, over there at the people. So I'm back locked in. You know what I'm saying? And one of them hip hop groups I'm in the other day, it sparked the argument: who had the best intro into rap? Was it Snoop Dogg or 50 Cent? And I'm looking at all the different people.
No, I'm good.
Oh, I'm looking at all the different people's arguments and answers, and it's very split down the middle.
Yeah.
And for as much as I love Snoop and I think Doggy Style hit at such just a right time and it introduced us to that West Coast culture a little bit more than the Chronic did. The Chronic showed us it, but like Doggy Style took us there. 50, that initial boom of 03, 04, I don't know if you can compare anything to that shit.
Well, you can to Snoop Dogg.
No, I'm just not listen. 50 Cent outsold everything, everybody. He broke every fucking metric. He had number ones on that album. He went on to sell merchandise, the vitamin water deal that eventually came from that shit. 50's initial boom into music was insane. For him to not get a Best New Artist award is unbelievable.
Was he nominated?
He was nominated, but he didn't win it.
Who won?
Best New Artist Grammy.
Because that's another thing that they historically fuck up at the Grammys is the Best New Artist.
Evanescence.
Evanescence.
Whatever. Remember, I think that was the joint 50 walked on the stage. He walked up and walked around him and came back down to the joint. Like, because it was so egregious. Yeah. Billboard music, when I told you, I kind of went into the metrics of that shit the other day. Billboard had 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying as the #1 album of 2003. It was #1. On Rolling Stone, greatest 500 albums of all time, Doggy Style is 340, Get Rich is 278. And I'm just like, yo, by 50 for his first album when he hit, that shit was such a chasm in like music. The radio airplay, the club, it was just like, it didn't make sense. And then to go on and sell 13 million records, and then you do Beg for Mercy, and that's double platinum. Then you come back with The Massacre, and that does 1.1 million in 4 days. Then Game is 5 times platinum. Banks is 2 times platinum. Yayo is 3 times. Buck is 3 times platinum. Yayo is platinum. It's just 50's initial boom in the music is just it's nuts. And he didn't win a Best New Artist, and that to me is just like, it's either a fuck y'all or we're purposely just like out of the fucking loop all the time.
They are out of the loop because the wrong people are in the room and they view, kind of like how, like when we did Rico Mania, where Kev said there's a population of like hoity-toity, well-to-do blacks that look at these young, urban, young niggas that's rising out of poverty and shit like that to, reach these levels of success that put them in the same communities, in the same rooms as them, as a scourge. They view them as like, what the fuck are you doing here? We're not the same. And you're only here because your talent got you here and my hard work brought me here. So the viewpoint of the voter is that like, this is less than, and y'all are essentially cheating the system and exploiting black culture via your art, so we don't want to reward you for doing such. So that's the chief argument against it.
I just think when I look at it, because again, music is subjective.
Absolutely.
So we all have different opinions, we all have different viewpoints, but it comes a point where it's like the stats, and like we talk about in sports, the stats are the only thing that are transferable. You know what I mean? The facts are transferable. And I think it's easy to be subjective and get caught up in that. And that's more so where I'm sitting like the fork in the road. What is it that you're looking for? Is it the sales dominance?
No,
or is it the cultural relevancy aspect side? Like, or is it the social side of it?
I think it's weighted. Like, I think if you look at all of those different categories, like I said, I think the social commentary is going to be first. When you talk about the Recording Academy, I think it's the social commentary of like, what is this person saying? Why are they saying it? Does the message connect to its intended target or audience? Then it's like, well, what is this person saying about themselves in relation to the message and their role and all of that, whatever. And then how do they, as the narrator, carry said message forward while also looking inward to themselves to say, this is why X, Y, Z. And then it's like, if we can't figure those two out to connect that, then we'll default to the commercial success of like radio sales. And I think they're all parsed out and all weighted out differently. And it's like, yo, depending upon how many of those boxes you check, that's how the average voter is voting. And when you look at the counter to the Grammys as the American Music Awards because they always get it right because they only go off the stats.
Yeah.
We don't care about none of this other shit. We don't care what you were saying. We don't care who grandma fucking lost her foot in a fishing accident. We don't care about all of this other shit. Like, how did the record perform versus the field versus your segmentation and then versus the larger overall scope of music? How did this shit perform? And that's how the fuck you win an American Music Award.
Like me personally, I kind of look at the American Music Awards and the Grammys sort of like the Oscars and the Golden Globes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm right or wrong in doing that, but that's just kind of how I always viewed it. And 8 times out of 10, if you win the Golden Globe, it's like the Oscars coming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't just see somebody like win the Golden Globe and then they not nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars after they just won the Golden Globe.
But we've seen people sweep the AMAs and then win nothing at the Grammys.
And that to me is kind of crazy. And I was to that point. Drake, didn't he like break the record or something?
He has the most AMAs in Earth.
And when I looked at it, like Drake really only has 5 Grammys.
Yeah.
And you would think that if you're tied with Michael Jackson for number ones, if you're 300 entries into the Billboard 100, he has more entries in the Billboard 100 than Glee. Mm-hmm. If you're 300 up on the Billboard Hot 100 with 13 number ones with like 70 top 10s, or no, it might be more than 70 top 10s at this point.
Yeah.
How do you only end up with 5? Like Drake said on the song, I got 5 Grammys to my name with 100 nominations. Like, that's the reason I use the Grammy as a doorstop.
Well, looking at the criteria and how I just parse it out, there's the answer to your question, because the one time that he had any form of like a broader message, like, to his album and all of that would Take Care, he went to the Grammys and he cleaned the fuck up. Because that's the one time where he's not just looking at and examining dating and relationships and all of that stuff and the fallouts from it. He's examining himself and his role as the catalyst in all of this, and how does that play out in the greater story. And they looked at the storyline and the theme and the narrative of that album, and they said, we're going to reward this.
No, but he's got a lot of newer Grammys though.
For what songs? Because I know Take Care won Rap Album of the Year.
Take Care won the Album of the Year. I know he won for God's Plan. Trying to think what else he won a Grammy for. I think he won one for the One Dance, I believe.
Yeah, so it's like, I think the Grammys are, for as much as like, it gives us a headache sometimes, from year to year, it has a way of like giving us a never ending fucking headache. I think they're still very consistent based upon their criteria. I just think that they haven't done a good job of explaining their criteria, and their new CEO president has done a much better job of getting out there in front of it. Whatever.
He won Best Rap Album for Take Care in 2013. He won Hotline Bling, Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance. He won God's Plan for Best Rap Song, and Wait for You with Future and Tim's last year. So yeah, he got 5. He was nominated for One Dance. I know I've seen that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you figure, but like even that right there, it's just like the Wait for You and what was the other one I just said? Hotline Bling and shit like that. And that's why I'm just like, it almost is like you really just never know with especially with our stuff. Where with these other categories, you know when you see that song over and over, or hear it when you in Target, Word to Most Def, like that one's going there. Like the Katy Perry Jones from this year, you kept hearing that fucking record everywhere. Yeah. I mean, not Katy Perry,
Molly Cyrus.
The
like Flowers record.
That record's just every goddamn.
And then
way.
you look at, and to that point, to substantiate what you're saying, you look at, when they look at Record of the Year, the big awards are Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. Those are the 4 big awards or whatever. So it's like, you look at, again, Taylor and what's the name being, and Molly being nominated, all these categories, blah, blah, blah. Then they get to the end and they say, yo, out of these last 2 big awards when it comes to song, we just gonna split the baby. You get one, you get one. You get Record of the Year, you get Song of the Year, and then you get Album of the Year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I you want to go into that?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to how they be doing niggas. Did you have any disappointments from the night?
No, not really.
I had one.
My man Durk won an award. Y'all know I champion Durk. I say he's one of the rare rappers that I like everything about him. I like how he carries himself. I like how he take care of his homies. I like his morals. I love the fact that he's Muslim. I love the fact that he got his pop and his uncles around him and all of that shit. I love his family, his girl. I love everything about the guy. So I was very happy to see, Durk win an award. I was very happy to see Victoria Monet come in there and SZA come in there and kick ass, walk away with 3 awards apiece. I was not. My only real disappointment is the lack of diversity when you get into the big 4 awards.
And that right there was where I was going. And to that point, I'm happy for Victoria Monet. She looked very nice. I like that serpent chain and watch she had on. Yeah, that was very, very fly. SZA was the most nominated person.
Yeah, 9.
And all of her awards got R&B on them.
Yeah.
And for me, I think the album of the year category, the race with her and Taylor was a lot close than it might be led on to believe, in my opinion.
I mean, I think her album was better.
Yes, because I'm not listening to that.
Yeah.
But understand that.
And it performed as well.
I literally told Lee, I'm like, it's one of those like pick your poison type things. Mm-hmm. SZA's album spent more weeks at number 1 than anybody's album over the last year. It's the first time that a woman spent 11 weeks at number 1 since Whitney Houston in 1987. Yeah. So right there, you're in rarefied air because no one's done this. The problem is Taylor Swift's album did 1 million in a week, and it occupied all 10 spots on the Hot 100. First time that had ever happened. Yeah. So I'm like, both of them are groundbreaking. You just got to pick your poison. Yeah. Me personally, it's like, and I'm not saying that there needs to be a all-inclusion award or, if you Michael Jordan won 2 3-peats. You know what I'm saying? Shaq and them 3-peat. Yeah. LeBron went to 10 straight finals. If I whip ass, it just is what it is. So I'm never mad at that. But I'm just saying, I would have liked to see SZA take that shit down.
Yeah.
I think it was in the ballpark to do it. And I think that more than Taylor Swift's last album, I think it's a culmination of all of this Swiftie mania over the last couple of years.
And the narrative too.
That it's what they call it, runaway training itself now. To where it's like, if you just hear that name, even at the beginning when Trevor Noah was doing the monologue. Yeah. Did you notice they did the whole Taylor Swift walking in during the monologue and she threw the fan? I was just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, like focus on the host.
No, but that was that she didn't like accidentally just planned.
Yeah, no, they this is your camera.
It felt very
it's produced.
And it's becoming to the point where it's like the girl on The View said that the hatred for Taylor Swift is making me become a Swiftie. And I'm like, yeah, and I think it's working the exact opposite way in other parts of the world where it's like, this shit is getting on my motherfucking nerves, man. Like, it's becoming so over the top and so overdone. And I saw a lot of people who went down that rabbit hole the other day. I'm talking about industry people, everything, of like, is it something that I'm missing as to why this girl has 4 album of the year Grammys?
I can explain it.
No, I get it. I understand why they're doing it. I can
explain it.
I'm saying where this is the way the people are acting. Where it's not Aretha Franklin, not Michael Jackson, not Smokey Robinson, not Madonna, not Prince. And it's not even just black, because I saw people bring up Celine Dion, people bring up Mariah Carey, people bring up Bruno Mars, people bring up all these different artists where it's just like, I don't know, yo. And it does feel very, very WWE-ish. Like, you remember cutting on Bash at the Beach knowing Diamond Dallas Page is getting the belt tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even when Trevor Noah said Taylor Swift tonight could make history, become the first person ever to win.
Setting it
and
up.
I'm just like, oh, Lord, here we go.
Well, what it is this. This is the Taylor Swift thing. She has enough of Americana in her music and enough G by golly gosh in her persona of like, she's this like tall, beautiful, talented, but also like oblivious to her success, like type of woman that it's like, we want to reward the pageant queen with every fucking thing that's on the goddamn docket. And it's like, history be damned, sense be damned, because these aren't groundbreaking albums in anything other than sales and consumption. These are not songs that are like the lyric, and this is not What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. That's not what the fuck Taylor Swift is making. This is not Heal the World by Michael Jackson.
This ain't We Are the World.
This is not no groundbreaking song lyric structure where you can argue
this ain't the thumb song by Cisco.
This is not not some level of articulate penmanship and production that's going into these records. It's just audibly pleasing enough to make white bread middle America people feel like they want to get up and do their goofy non-rhythmic dances to it. And it's enchanted 3 generations of people, because now you have daughters, mothers, and grandmothers that can all enjoy this thing together. And when you create something like that, and you have so much economy around it to the point where you can buck the music industry and say time and time again and say, no, Spotify, you ain't paying me what you paying these other motherfuckers. And they do it. And then you tell fucking Scooter Braun, you're a piece of shit, because why the fuck would you be trying to manage me and buy my catalog? I'm re-recording these albums, and then they sell more than they sold the first time. When you have that level of economy, everybody wants in on that shit. And then this year in particular, with her impacting the bottom line of the NFL, $331 million, the Grammys is like, who the fuck are we to go against this runaway money train that's coming? We'll just deal with the backlash later. But the Swifties encompass so much air and so much space that we don't even give a fuck, because they're going to fight back on our behalf.
Somebody made a point. It was like, it almost feels as though she had to get the album of the year thing, because if she don't, then the train loses a little bit of steam to it.
Yep.
And I'm like, I didn't think about that at first, but then I thought about it, like I told y'all last week. You remember, I had a futures bet in for the Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Last week, I bet the Chiefs money line before the game, because I'm like, yeah, how the fuck can the NFL, after all that they've done in building this shit up with her at the games, how the fuck can you have your biggest game of the year, maybe of ever?
Yeah.
How can you not have Taylor Swift in that booth? It makes zero sense. She has to at least be there.
Yeah.
So unless Travis Kelce is going to get traded to the Ravens today,
these
Chiefs
these black ass niggas is going home.
And I hate to be that guy, that conspiracy theory motherfucker, but it's just like, dog, it feels like a larger play all the time. And I'm going there. It felt like Beyonce was genuinely kicking so much ass. Like you remember around 2015, 16, because remember back in the day, Beyonce was like, oh, she's the best out of Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
But we don't know if Destiny's Child is better than TLC.
Right.
We don't know if Destiny's Child is better than fucking, In Vogue and all of them yet. And then you saw when Destiny's Child did their second album, the Bills shit, and then they came back with the one with Cater to You and all, and it was just like, holy shit. And then they crossed over into that pop shit when they started doing songs like Bootylicious and Crazy Over You and all these different things.
Yeah,
it's like
Lose My Breath and
it was like, holy shit. Beyonce goes solo out the gate. It was like, out the gate, she the best we got.
Yeah, she's like 600,000 first week.
Out the gate, it's like, yeah, she's reaching Mariah and Whitney status. Maybe not in voice, but definitely in impact.
Yeah.
And then you saw it year after year where Beyonce just like showed motherfuckers up over and over and over. When she came to perform at an award show, the rest of y'all can just pack it the fuck up. When she showed up to the festivals, when she showed up to the fucking whatever it was, Beyonce just trashed it. Then she started doing her world tours. Then she did, B-Day and 4 and Sasha Fierce and all of this shit. And every year was a new album and a new tour. And every year she broke new ground and did new shit. And she won the Grammy for best song. She won the Grammy for best R&B song, for best pop vocals, for best pop album, vocal album. Won all the shit. And then when it came to album of the year, it was just like, nah,
not this year.
We're gonna go another route. Okay, cool. Next year she come right back. Another album, self-titled, out of nowhere. That was a random drop. You know what I'm saying? Had the partition and all of that shit. Another world tour. Destroys the world tour. Breaks records on the world tour.
Yeah.
Brings Hove out. Got Hove looking good to the new young people and shit. They like, damn, I thought Jay was 65. No, he only 47. Jay out, they having a ball. Back to the Grammys. Best pop vocals, best R&B song collaboration, best fucking pop collab, best everything. Album of the year? Nah, we're gonna go another route. And it just seemed to happen over and over and over. And in these last couple of years, Beyonce has literally left Earth. She's left Earth.
Yeah.
And I feel like there almost needed to be something.
Yeah, a shift back.
There needed to be a parallel from that world because let's just keep it a buck. No one can outdance Beyonce.
No.
No one can outperform Beyonce. Nobody can outstage presence Beyonce. It's literally impossible. And to that point, I saw somebody the other day was like, she went to 3 Beyonce concerts last year. She went to 2 Taylor Swift concerts last year. And she's like, what you go for is so totally different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know you're about to get precision out of this world from Beyonce. And to that point, we went to the concert Beyonce had at the Link. It was raining. I had on a poncho, big ass poncho. I had on a poncho. I looked like Kanye wife out there with a fucking poncho on. Beyonce came out in heels and did not miss a step.
Yeah, she's a cyborg.
It wasn't like it was raining and she said, no, I'm gonna put on my forces. Like it was raining and she still had on 6-inch heels.
Still had on the go-go
and
boots.
Didn't miss a motherfucking step. And the way we all acted with her, to me, it just felt like the rest of the world was like, oh no. Because it started to creep over into that shit where like Middle America started to see it. And to me, what happened was when Beyonce did that Super Bowl performance and she came out and did Freedom and all that shit at Super Bowl, and it was just like, remember she had the girls dressed up like Black Panthers and shit? And it's just like,
you want to wield your power to bring equity to Black folk.
Yeah.
We not doing none of that. That is not in the script. That is not in the script.
We was with you, sister. Not now, though.
And I think to her detriment, Beyonce's messaging and her audience is very grown. It's very 23 to 45-year-old Black woman. But real quick, please don't come in. But others outside of the key demographic still recognize her as the greatest. But in her core, it's very grown, it's very mature, it's very, I'm about my business, it's very, I know who I am, I know what I want. And when you have 6 million of those that are basically hanging on your every word, that's way different than having 6 million Swifties that are like, it's part kids, it's part moms. And it's like, it's not very uniform in how you could mobilize them to do something other than consume whatever you're selling.
Let's just keep it a buck. Beyonce was perfect for music until she became intentionally Black. When Beyonce was younger and it seemed like, oh, she's just a pop artist who can really dance, it was like, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
When Beyonce became very intentional about her Blackness, there was like a to it. And to that point, it's a lot of musical artists, it's a lot of people who've come along where they've been like accidentally Black. Beyonce and Hove are intentionally Black as shit. Or Beyonce said, I got hot sauce in my purse and I love a nigga with a big ass Jackson 5 nose. White folks like, whoa, wait, what?
So this Todd's off the fucking off the calculus, huh?
And you look it back at how, remember when like Mariah Carey, where you like kind of didn't know?
She was racially ambiguous.
You remember that
She's
shit?
married to a white nigga. It was perfect.
Paul Mooney has a great part of when Tiger Woods went through all that nonsense. Remember with the whole scandal and shit? Paul Mooney said, all them years Tiger Woods running around, I think I'm chemical Asian. He know what he is now.
Yeah. he got his nigga wake up call.
And it's like, yo, Beyonce became very, very, I'm a grown ass Black woman.
Yeah.
And that shit bothers the fuck out of people, dog. And it's like, oh yeah, no, we fucks with you. You great, yeah, whatever, yeah, freedom, yeah. But it's like giving you album of the year. It's like, And it's fucked up because I don't think she's ever gonna get
No, it's not happening.
like
Beyonce is the anti Whitney Houston.
mm-hmm.
Whitney Houston played the game. And for those of you that saw the movie or documentaries, all of that, Whitney Houston played the fuck out of the game at every step. She always took the most pop sounding record. She always agreed to whatever the fuck Clive wanted. She always said yes. She always showed up and smiled and waved.
To be fair, in the 80s and the early 90s, you didn't even really understand that Whitney was from like Jersey until
she
like,
wasn't recognized as a black woman. She was on some OJ shit. I'm not black. I'm Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Like she transcended race, and being in a spot where you transcend race, but you still have to be almost like aware of certain black issues and black pressures. And whether you decide to publicly acknowledge them or not is going to decide the trajectory of your career. And at some point, Beyonce decided, I don't want to be some pop industry doll that they tell me what to do and this and this and this. I want ownership. I want control. I want direction. I want to be fucking my husband as my steward to what the fuck I'm doing. Dad, you got to get the fuck out of here because you messy and you weird. Mom, I love you as a cheerleader, but you ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck I'm doing here because this is the new me. And the new her understands the plight of Black America. She understands the plight of the LGBTQ community. Mm-hmm. She understands that it's my duty as a multi-millionaire, billionaire to bail these people out of fucking jail when there's civil unrest in Baltimore and in Philadelphia and all of this shit. And no, I don't need no credit for it. She understands all of that shit. And she understands that the media is inherently evil and misrepresentational and sensational at times. So I'm not talking to you motherfuckers. I'm going to use my platform to do one-way messaging where I tell y'all what the fuck going on. Y'all don't get to question me and all of this shit because y'all haven't even seen this level of greatness before. Mm-hmm. And with all of that in mind, the average power structure sees that shit and says, hell no, fuck no.
Yeah, hell the fuck no. You got to be crazy.
You got it all figured out. Yeah. We not dealing with none of this.
No, where is Bruno Mars? Like,
get Ariana Grande on the phone.
Seriously, is Adele singing? Hell no. Hell no.
So you mean to tell me you're the most talented, you're one of the richest, you own everything, and you care about people?
Yeah.
You care about, you don't use people as human capital? Like, you care about people? You got your daughter up here dancing on stage with you?
Empowering people? Are you crazy? Like, seriously, dog. Seriously.
You at the height of your career decided to make a dance house music album that's going to resonate with not only your core audience, but the LGBTQ community and empower them.
How crazy is that Beyonce made one of the LGBTQest albums of all time and made one of the blackest albums of all time right after one of those, just on the string. Yeah, no, that's what we're doing.
Because she's truly great. And when you're truly great, in what you are, you also recognize the greatness in other people. Mm-hmm. And Beyonce has a way of hearing a song, taking a song, and making it more than a song, making it a moment, making it an anthem, making it the soundtrack to a movement. And she understands, she's carrying the weight of Marvin Gaye, the weight of Aretha Franklin, the weight of all of these, Smokey Robinson, all of these great transcendent Black artists that even though they made money, even though they got recognized, they still didn't get a tenth of what the fuck they deserve. No. And she operates on that calculus all the fucking time. And her level of intention that she comes to everything with, and her level of I do what I want that she comes to everything with scares the fuck out of people.
Straight up. I personally just, when I think about where music was at 10 to 12 years ago, it was very like, you remember, perfect example, Usher spoke about this. He was like, back in the day, you know, you had to almost go to like music school. Mm-hmm. You had to like go to school to learn to be an artist, to learn how to dance, to learn how to smile, to learn how to walk.
Yeah, artist development.
Like there was real live artist development back in the day. And because of that, especially when you talk about that style of music, because rap was the music where you got to express yourself because it's you. Chuck D wrote that shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tupac wrote that shit. Biggie wrote that shit. Hove wrote that shit. Lil Wayne wrote. So that's why it's so individual and to them. Whereas R&B pop, you come through this development. You work with these producers,
this choreographer,
that
this
writer,
image coach, this PR.
And if you do what we tell you to do, then you make it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it happened.
It was an assembly line.
It was an assembly line. And you started to see artists break away from that style of assembly line. And what happened with the music industry was like, oh, okay, fine. NDRE, you want to do your own thing? Do it. Cool. But you ain't gonna be no megastar.
Yeah, we ain't supporting it.
You ain't gonna be no megastar.
Yeah, you can go gold. That's the consolation prize. When you buck the system and break the matrix, you can go gold.
Lauryn
You
Hill.
sell 800,000.
Lauryn Hill, you wanna leave the Fugees and grow your hair out, go do your thing. Cool. Yeah. You ain't gonna do this again. One time.
Yeah, you get one.
Yeah. You want to talk back? Go ahead. And that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
For Beyonce to get to that place of like the superstardom level and be like, I kind of made it to the end of the assembly line. Now I'm gonna just do my own thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna break the mold now.
And now you doing that, it empowers so many people and makes so many people say, oh, well, I don't need to even worry about the assembly line. I can do it independently. I can push my own music. I can go my own route. So now you start seeing all these people pop up and do all of this shit. So now it's just like, well, wait a minute. You can't just break away from our tradition and our structure and be the biggest and best.
Yeah, don't work
because
that way.
that makes these systems look crazy as
Yeah,
shit.
it makes people examine the system and say, why the fuck do you need it?
You see what I'm saying?
Which is the reason why a couple of years ago, I'm sure you remember this, a lot of people were, when Drake's contract was up with Cash Money Universal, a lot of people were calling for him to go independent. They were like, yo, just go independent. Just do it on your own. Just show these motherfuckers that you can still be the biggest and don't have a label fucking supporting you. Just do it.
Yep.
And he refused to do it.
Yep.
And that right there is part of the resentment I think that people have with Drake, because they feel like, yo, as talented as this nigga is, as successful as he is, he refuses to break out of the mold of the system and the signed artist that needs the major label to do whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think especially for Black women, because they're just viewed in such a different light, especially in the music
Indeed.
realm. You make it to a certain point, there's supposed to be like you just said, a disconnect from like the everyday struggle or the everyday.
Yeah, you're supposed to be too rich to care.
And I think the problem is for them, I love it, is that Beyonce is Michelle Obama, Oprah, and Vivian Jones all wrapped up into one. She's the first Black woman at Alabama.
And Asada Shakur.
She's the first Black woman at Alabama and the first Black first lady. Like that, and it just bothers the fuck out of them for whatever reason.
Because it's like she has every reason to not give a fuck, but she does. Because she cares. She's a humanitarian and she cares about people. And they think that it's like, oh, you beautiful, you light skinned. She's the perfect combination of the Manchurian wife, the Stepford wife that we could just fucking program, and they had no idea that this woman knew her roots, knew her fucking family lineage, understood her history, understood Black history, understood American history, and understood that she needed to be the one to fucking crack the matrix and deprogram this shit and show other Black women that are in creative spaces and in business and in tech and all this shit, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Right. That's a dangerous message to a nation that is keying on our willful ignorance.
Yeah, I don't think we meant to turn this into like some Beyonce stan shit, but I think it needs to be said. It needs to be, because we've never done that on the show, I don't think.
No.
And, you understand like Black greatness. I was having this conversation with Lee the other night. I'm like, yo, I grew up in a household where it was like, we listened to the Pointer Sisters.
Right.
We listened to, Aretha Franklin. We listened to, Diana Ross and the Supremes. And you really understand like what Black women had to go through to just get music out.
Yes.
Like you really understand what Tina Turner had to go through to get to the place of her doing a concert with 180,000 people there and having the biggest recorded paid event ever and all this crazy shit. Like you really, really understand it. And to see nowadays where you have this woman who's essentially been like, let's keep it a buck. Beyonce's been at the top of being a solo performer for 20 years.
Yes.
She 21 years into her
Yeah,
solo.
Dangerously in Love came out, what, 03?
03. Like, she 21 years into her solo career, let alone her Destiny's Child work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let alone her collaborative work with her husband and all of that shit. You know what I mean? So I just think when you look at the bodies of work, the time at top, all the Grammys that are there, it's not like Beyonce doesn't win Grammys.
She's the most awarded Grammy artist in history. She has 32 Grammys.
So it's like, how do you just win best pop vocal, best this, best that? All these are individual song achievements. But then when it's album of the year time, say, nah, what you talking about? Come on, man. You got to be crazy, man. Hey, what's the white boy name who won the shit when Kanye was like, who the fuck is that? Damn, I can't, that show you right there.
Yeah.
It be people you can't even remember their goddamn name. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the truth.
I think Moby won one.
Moby, was it Moby? I know Moby won.
Moby won one. I think who else won the John that was like a crazy one that was like, wait, what?
If I say the name,
I think Tom Petty might have won one. Like it was like Dave Matthews Band or some shit like that, like some recent John or whatever like that. But yeah, Kanye was pissed. And then later he came back and was like, no, actually listen to the album, it's phenomenal.
It was...
Yeah, we're gonna get to the bottom of this shit.
Beck.
I
can't remember the name.
Oh, yeah. Then he was like, Kanye came back like 4 months later on some Kanye shit. Like, yo, I listened to the Beck album. It's actually incredible.
Because Beck beat Beyonce that year for the Beyonce album.
Yeah.
We was all just like, say what now? Like, everybody was like, say what now?
Come again?
Like, yeah, man. I don't know. I just... Adele beat Beyonce Lemonade with 25. I understand the song, but I don't understand the album. I thought Lemonade would. I personally, never mind Sasha Fierce, never mind the Beyonce album.
Yeah.
I thought Lemonade had it in the bag.
Yeah, for sure.
I truly did believe that. And I guess that was just me being naive. I thought that with the concert, with the videos, the visuals, I just thought Lemonade, the Becky with the good hair, I thought Lemonade was finally the
Lemonade
time.
was an ass kicker, man. Lemonade.
I thought that was I thought it was a done deal. And when that didn't happen, I was like, Paul Mooney.
They said,
Black bitch, that's
they
really
said, you
how
niggas got another thing.
Yeah, man, that's how it felt. It felt crazy when Lemonade didn't win. Let's talk about Hove and his Dr. Dre global impact. Because you talk about something that everybody got wrong. You ever see arguing from both sides and you like,
oh, y'all both wrong.
Everybody.
Yeah, y'all all fucked up. Shit. Oh, don't nobody know what's going on. Bet.
Yeah, man. Nobody got it right. All right, cool. But yeah, man, Jay-Z received the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Can we take time out for a second and just acknowledge that Dr. Dre has a Grammy named after him?
Listen, real quick, man.
Ain't that crazy?
I'm always here for Dr. Dre appreciation. Dr. Dre is one of I don't know the man, I never met him. I hope to meet him and interview him one day. He is one of my favorite people to ever come from hip hop, bar none. You got to recognize that this man came from Compton, California, one of the most socioeconomically deprived and gang-infested cities in the world. Fuck America, in the world. And he overcame that shit through his talent as a DJ and then later on as a producer. And he walked away from 2 music empires with nothing to start from scratch. And then the third thing that he did, which is Aftermath, is greater than both of those things combined. And then on top of that, Beats is arguably greater than everything he's done in music. When you talk about a commerce, economic thing that him and Jimmy fucking created together, scaled this motherfucking business and got tens of people rich that were all, involved in that deal and shit like that. Got him on the board at Apple. Like, Dr. Dre has $700 million in stock from Apple and growing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always here for Dr. Dre appreciation. That man has a music school named after him at USC. From Compton, California, Andre Young. I love Dr. Dre. I think he's an absolute icon, a steward of light, and somebody that's just unapologetically about the work. Dr. Dre ain't in the media. Dr. Dre ain't fucking running around on podcasts talking about who should pay for the motherfucking date. You ain't a man if you don't pay all the bills. Like, Dr. Dre ain't engaging in none of the fuck shit you niggas is engaging in. That nigga just cutting music and inspiring the next generation.
Dr. Dre on a podcast. Ladies, you go on a date, a man pull out a gift card. You leaving, what we doing? Come on, talk to me now.
Talk to the doctor.
Yeah, man. No, I fucks with Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre is phenomenal, man.
Yeah, Dr. Dre has an award named after him at the Grammys, and I think that's huge. You know what I mean? And it's the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award, and this year's recipient was Jay-Z, Jigga Man, Hova, and
who won last year? Do you know?
Lil Wayne. I can tell you all the previous winners and shit.
Dr. Dre loves Lil Wayne, yo. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Global Impact Award winners, and it is. Who says that?
Oh, Cool from Cool and Dre.
Yeah,
no, Dre from Cool and Dre.
Dre from Cool and Dre.
The one who made Chevy riding high, boy.
Oh no, Lil Wayne won the Impact Award, but it wasn't the Dr. Dre Award.
Oh,
I guess
okay.
they renamed it or whatever. Yeah, because this is the inaugural.
Oh, this is the first one. Okay,
that was named after Dr. Dre.
Got it.
There you go. So Jay-Z and Beyonce weren't there long. Just come in. All right now. You know what I'm saying? Come in. They bore blue with them or whatever. Jay had on a fabulous Complications Protect. You know what I'm saying? We can do that later. And Jay-Z was the recipient of this award. And Jay-Z took the stage. And what was the first thing you noticed?
First thing I noticed, he had his daughter with him.
No.
And how grown Blue is.
Before they even got on the stage.
Come
on, you're good with this type of stuff.
I don't know. I'm just drawing
a
blank
said
today.
The 2024 Dr. Dre Global Impact Award recipient, Jay-Z.
Oh, he came out to Where I'm From.
And they cut on Where I'm From.
Yes.
To walk up on the stage. I thought that was nasty.
Yeah. I should have caught that because I text y'all that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You probably did. That's probably where I got it. Yeah, right. Maybe you did.
Yeah, I text y'all that. I was like, yo, this is the most Jay-Z shit ever.
That was cool as shit. And he came up there to Where I'm From, and he got it was a black Grammy.
Yes.
Which I like.
Black
Grammy. You know
Grammy.
what I'm saying? Black Grammy. Little, with Dunbar, like black ceramic AP.
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing crazy. But he got a black Grammy, and he went into a speech. And in the speech, he said a lot in the speech. But the two highlights that everybody's going away from is, I don't want to embarrass this young lady. She has more Grammys than everybody, and she's never won Album of the Year. By your own metric, that just don't make sense. It don't make sense. Most Grammys ever, no Album of the Years, nominated a bunch of times, never won it. That don't make any sense. Stop it right there. I've said that before, and I think that's what me and you were alluding to earlier in this show, where if I win all these awards...
If I dominate my category, at some point, I should be out of my category. Like, there should be a special category for me, or I should at least be recognized with the larger sphere of the top artists in music, period. Because nobody in my category can fuck with me.
Right. I've seen a rapper win Best Rap Song and then be nominated for Best Rap Album and lose.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, one kind of go with the other.
Yeah, so he had the best song. When you talk about song, structure,
and not
lyric, melody, all of that.
Not somebody where I'm trying to think, give me a person. Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow. Mm-hmm. He was nominated for Best Rap Song. The album wasn't nominated for Best Rap Album. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like the equivalent of Jay-Z or Kanye. Kanye won the Grammy for Dark Twisted Fantasy. He also won Best Rap Song for All the Lights.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
Right.
You can't give him All of the Lights, nominating for Best Rap Album, then give the Best Rap Album to Bubba Sparxxx.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's more so what he was alluding to. Like, by y'all metric, certain things don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right? Then he said, some of y'all gonna leave here feeling like you got robbed. Some of you gonna get robbed. Some of you don't belong in the category. And the crowd kind of just like, oh.
My homegirl was there. She said these people didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
She said he froze. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to react.
Yeah, they didn't know if Will Smith was. They like, you could just tell it was just like a, whoa. And he like, no, it's cool. He's like, when I get nervous, I tell the truth. And I thought that was a beautiful little bring y'all back, like with a little sarcasm and shit. And he's like, no, like for real, like forget the Grammys. We just gotta keep showing up. We just gotta keep showing up. We gotta keep showing up. And that set off I was so glad I got my Facebook back. It set
right in the nick of time.
right in the nick of time. It set off a chain reaction of I've never seen. And do you notice that everything now has become very, very racial?
Oh, yeah.
Where if it's a black person that says anything, all the blacks are on this side and all the whites are on. It was so many.
All the Latinx don't know what's going on.
Dog, it was
catching his shit.
It was so many white people that were so mad the other day.
Yeah, because how dare you?
I mean, pissed.
How dare you?
They were going as far as saying, like, I saw one person was like, Jay-Z and Beyonce give me that they're running out of money because now they're just worried about. And I was just like, that's what it's giving you? I was like, what?
Beyonce got on custom Louis Vuitton right now.
I was like, but the protect. I was like, but the protect.
Jay-Z's in business with LVMH, the #1 global luxury brand.
What, man? People were so upset because they took it as a. Did you see the girl on The View?
No.
Whoopi Goldberg brought it up on The View. The girl who was sitting over there on the right, I don't even got her name. She was like, as a Swiftie, I thought it was just in such bad taste because you ruined Taylor's moment to break the record for most album of the years. And Whitney was just like, that shit ain't nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
Right.
And she's like, no, but you don't understand. Like, this is her moment, and this is all about her and making it to that pinnacle of music greatness. And the one girl on the stage was like, I think I'm going to just go with what Whitney say, because at the end of the day, Whitney the only one on the stage that got a Grammy. So I'm going to just give her the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And it's just like, yeah, that shit had nothing to do with Taylor Swift. Literally nothing.
But black confidence threatens white life.
Dominance.
Yeah, black confidence and black dominance threatens white life so much that it's like, yo, y'all feeble little flowers. And that shows you the difference between the Beyonce fan base and the Swifties. Yeah. Because it's why are y'all so fragile that you a grown woman on a fucking nationally syndicated television show talking about it ruined Taylor's moment? It had nothing to do with that. That shit was 35 minutes in the future. What are you talking about? It ruined it.
Chris fucking Will Smith slapped the nigga and still got his
Oscar. And sat down.
Still got his Oscar. Like,
and then came up on stage and cried later.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to slap this bitch ass nigga. I deserve this shit, y'all. Like,
I just been under so much. I don't be winning these Oscars, man.
Like, this little bald head bitch fucking running amok in the media. Will slapped the host of the Oscars, sat down, crossed his legs like what I'm doing right now, and won the award for Best Actor.
Yo. Could you imagine if Hov would have came up there and slapped Trevor Noah? What? I honestly thought I'd never in my life see no shit like that. I watched it the other day for the first time in months, and I watched it and I'm just like, yo, he really slapped that nigga. Yeah. And then screamed at him twice, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Yeah, at the Oscars. Yes. And then they had the nerve 33 minutes later to be like, shit, Will Smith, man. He really came up
Chris
there.
Rock got slapped across the stage, and Denzel and all them consoled Will.
Dog.
Why that bitch ass nigga make you slap him like that? What's wrong with this pussy?
Dog. Remember the uncle on Martin? They had to like scratch his chest to get him to come there.
Will up there panting and shit like, yo, you slapped him.
Yo, dog. Yo. But yeah, man, Will straight smacked the nigga and then went and got a motherfucking trophy later about that. You know what I'm saying?
Got the biggest trophy.
Got the biggest trophy of his life. Of his life. That wasn't no motherfucking
ain't no niggas in
six-man award.
Ain't no niggas in earpieces come talk to Will or nothing.
Nothing.
Nigga sat down and enjoyed his brie.
What I took from Jay-Z's speech, and I guess you could tell, we could just do that. I took Jay-Z's speech as like a call to action for black creators. Mm-hmm. That was the way I viewed it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, they're not gonna give this shit to us.
Yeah.
Because we have the most prolific woman to ever exist No disrespect to Diana Ross. No disrespect to Aretha Franklin. No disrespect to Whitney Houston. No disrespect to Nicki Minaj, to Mariah Carey,
Janet
to none
Jackson.
of you. Janet Jackson. Beyonce is the most prolific black female artist ever.
Period.
That's just what it is. She has more Grammys than everyone. There ain't a person, there ain't a group, there ain't a
male,
club.
female, cat, dog, alien, Martian.
And what they do, and I guess to crystallize my point of what I said earlier, with what I felt about SZA, the most nominations, but all of your trophies are gonna say R&B on them. Mm-hmm. Because Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Album of the Year, you're not getting close. Yeah. And that to me is like the marginalization of the black female artists.
You can be the best in your category.
You can be the best in the black females.
Yeah.
But as far as the world,
no, we're not quite there yet.
And I took it as Jay-Z saying, listen, it's on us, to where it's like, yo, and that's where he said we got to keep showing up. And that crystallizes your point of we have to become members of the recording
We
academy.
have to figure out the criteria and fucking become members and go vote.
We have to vote. We have to make voices heard so that we don't ever have to sit in a situation where a great album like Good Kid, Mad City doesn't get the proper hardware.
Yeah, because it didn't have the proper amount of fucking voter base.
Do you understand that there are two albums that have been on the Billboard 200 for 550 weeks? It's Take Care and Good Kid, Mad City. Take Care got the best rap Grammy. Good Kid doesn't. Yeah. And that right there is a goddamn travesty. You're talking about impact. This shit been on the chart for 11 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, I took it as Jay saying, black creatives, black writers, black producers, black performers, black dancers, black everything. We've already done the back and forth of, we need our own awards, and that shit doesn't work. Because y'all don't
show up. NAACP Awards, Soul Train Awards, BET Awards, all started off extremely prestigious. Everybody showed up. After a while, it turned into who all gonna be there, and I'm not pulling up.
Right. So it's established that y'all gonna pull up for the Grammys, and y'all gonna pull up in your best.
Y'all gonna throw $100,000 motherfucking Grammy parties, all kind of shit. Win, lose, or draw, y'all gonna throw the party.
I'm be honest with you, I never seen Killer Mike in a suit till he was arrested. I'm just being honest. Yeah. I watched his whole Netflix joint. He wears fucking fatigues and bomber jacket. Like, this is just him. So it's like, y'all are gonna show up here in your best. You're gonna look your best. You're gonna act your best. Y'all ain't gonna get into no Source Award shit. Y'all ain't gonna get into no Vibe Award shit.
Okay.
Y'all gonna show up here and y'all gonna act the fuck accordingly. So if y'all gonna do that and y'all gonna really cherish this shit and y'all gonna really care about it, we need to, as a whole entire culture, we need to vote. We need to put the pressure on the Academy. We need to make sure that they understand that, these albums aren't just pivotal to us. They're pivotal and they mean something to the world.
Yes. And to the Academy's credit, they have a black CEO as of 2021.
He just got in there a couple years ago.
Their VP of membership is a black woman. Their VP of it was something else is a black woman. They have women all through their fucking executive suite and all of that stuff. So it's like when you start with the top, the representation is there. And I'm sure that their willingness to be open to how can we right size this process and become the award show that gets it right more than they get it wrong. I'm sure they're open to that. But the music professionals, like the other day, Tusi, that's fucking signed to South Coast Music Group, same label as the Baby. He was ranting and raving on Twitter and all of that shit and about your favorite song not being nominated and this and this. And it's like, dog, you had one of the biggest songs on black radio, bar none. Absolutely. Did y'all submit the fucking song? Are you or Arnold or anybody else from SCMG members of the fucking committee to be able to fucking vote, to not only vote for the song, but to campaign for the song being fucking nominated? Like, it's like all of this other tertiary stuff that exists around the margins that we don't do well. We don't care about, but we feel like we should just be recognized. And it's like, no, you don't get to just create music and do well and then not champion it or campaign for it to be recognized by these bodies.
That's a phenomenal point, Jamaican. And that goes to like us as black people. Yes. And I think that's what Jay was saying. Like, don't be too cool to get the fuck out here and really, really get on a campaign.
Fucking right.
To make it known, like, yo, I want a fucking Grammy. What Ludacris say? I'm making this shit
for a Grammy
because I want a Grammy.
Yeah.
And he went and got the shit.
Asking ye shall receive.
And we have a thing where it's just like I had to get out of that when it comes to this podcast, like too cool to make it. I told you, and I had a little bit of an awkward encounter last week when I mentioned like, you know, having somebody on the podcast, and I just was like, oh, well, whatever. And I've just reached that point where I'm not afraid to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I have a product. I believe in it. I think it's good. I think you're phenomenal. I think Dan, when he's here, is phenomenal. I think we're really good at this shit. Why don't you come and sit with us and do it? I have no fear with telling people that shit now. And we have this thing in our society of, it started in Philly and it feels like it's creeping out everywhere. I don't want to be no dick eater.
Exactly.
I don't want to be Joe as shit. I don't want to be on some weird shit because nobody wants to campaign for something and then not get it. Because now I got to get on social media and people are like, you hype dickhead, you ain't.
Exactly.
Fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
You're trying to get remembered for the rest of history. Because if you get that for the rest of your life, you know what they're going to say as the first line in the title?
Grammy Award
winning artist, so-and-so, beat up a hoe in the liquor store. Like, whatever the fuck you get
Good, bad, or ugly. You gonna get your recognition for life.
So, yeah, to your point, I think we got to stop that. Oh, no, I dropped it. Why y'all ain't fuck with it? It don't work like that.
No, you can't be too cool for school and then complain when you don't get the recognition that you want on the back end. It doesn't fucking work like that.
Because, and I'm gonna let you go, Black people, we're not even number 2 as far as population in America.
We're number 3.
So because of that, perfect example. If this white woman, or let's say a white guy, this white guy drops an album, right? What is the white population right now? 46%, 48%?
Yeah, so you're talking about, so call it 50%.
50. If this white guy drops an album,
he got 150. He got 65 million people.
I was just bringing it down to the smallest number. If he got 50% of 10, that means 5 people out of 10. If I'm black and the black, we're less than 20.
Right.
18, 1.8. So you know what that means? Out of 10, he got 5, I got 1.8. If 2 of his 5 go vote, already I can't beat him.
Yep, I'm cooked.
Ain't that nuts?
Yeah.
So you need every possible vote you can get, dog.
But what you just uncover is the fact that black people inherently understand you got to work twice as hard to get the same result, the same outcome, but then don't want to work twice as hard, but be mad about the result.
We know we got to
you got to work twice as hard. It's like, nah,
I ain't working at all.
I ain't dick eating. Fuck wrong with them. They need to, I'm great. You need to recognize his greatness. And it's like, no.
Let me tell you something, Jack.
You great. So to Tusi, to whoever else feels like they got slighted by the Grammys, you great to your fans. You ain't great to motherfuckers who don't even know you exist. So yeah, nigga, you better get out here with a I Heart the Grammys motherfucking shirt on for 6 months and campaign this shit. You got to talk to your label, to your A&R about how the fuck do we go about submitting this record to the Grammys? What's it going to cost? What's the fucking campaign process? How do we roll this out? Get with a fucking PR firm.
Maybe don't spend 75 grand at the blackjack table.
There you go.
Tonight. Maybe take that 75,000 and invest that into campaigning for you to get Grammy votes.
Maybe don't buy a 10th chain.
Yeah, because the 9th one wasn't too much.
That was OD. You have one neck. Maybe don't fly 10 prostitutes to Bora Bora.
Maybe don't buy a 10th chain. That's funny shit.
Dog, I was real quick, right? Off topic a little bit, but on topic. I was watching the Impact, New York City, which is QCP and Coach's show on BET. Okay. They produce the show, whatever. So they have it's a bunch of influencers. They're in New York now. They did Atlanta. They're in New York now. The girl Chinese Kitty is on there talking about, I'm here with Benny the jeweler. He's my jeweler and blah blah blah. I spent like $2.3 million with him and this and this and this. And I'm just like, yo. But she was simultaneously complaining about not having enough time to spend with her son and this and this and this. And I'm just like, bitch, if you spun 2.2 million on jewelry as opposed to 2.3 and spent that 100,000 to pay a motherfucking nanny, you could bring your son on tour so that you wouldn't have to be a deadbeat fucking mom. But it's like, that's the shit that we do. We fucking want all of the shit that shine, glitz, glitter, all of that shit, and won't invest in family, won't invest in industry, won't invest in your actual fucking craft that's going to carry you forward to be able to make more money if you get more famous.
To that point, we'll come right back to this shit. Did you see LeBron, what he said after the game the other day?
No.
They went fucking ape shit about that. LeBron, after the game, he had a real good game the other night, and they was like, Bron, do you have any advice for the younger players? And he was like, honestly, I do. And he's like, my biggest thing I see with the younger players that come into the league is they're worried about all the dumb shit. And they're not worried about their craft. They're not worried about their game. And it's fair in what he said, because Jalen Rose said it best on Jalen and Jacoby. 25% of the players in the league not going to be there next year.
Yep.
The league turns over too fast because it's worldwide talent trying to get in there now. It's the equivalent of your job having 15,000 job applications on file. Nigga, we can get rid of you at any time.
Yeah, you can go.
You can go.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah, you're paying 14 hours. You know what I'm saying? So LeBron was like, yeah, the younger players, they worry about all the jewelry, all the cars, all the parties, the dinners, the, running around the world. Like, all of that shit will come. You need to focus on your craft, and that's it. Focus on the game, nothing else. Focus on the game, then focus on family, then focus on the game again.
Yep.
And you should have seen the comments like, oh, people saying this while he has on a $300,000 watch. It's like, well, because he made $1 billion. Like he focused on the game for 22 years, and he's got $1 billion.
Yeah, these are the rewards of being the king, motherfucker.
I'm the king, nigga. Like, yes, I got a $300,000 watch. Nike has a building with my name on it.
Yeah, I'm part of the campus.
Are you high? And it's like that right there, where it's like, you can't even be the leading scorer in NBA history and give advice to the young blacks.
Yeah, no.
Because they like, what the fuck is
you
this?
hating?
You hating. You op. Like, shut the fuck up. Hey, yo, but he made that exact point you making, where it's like, and he said it, all of that will come.
Yeah.
Think about it. I'm LeBron. Like, and that's to that point. Remember a couple weeks ago, we talked about people with the watch in the watch community.
Yeah.
Like, oh, LeBron ain't
a hype beast.
LeBron ain't no real collector. It's like, you know why I might not be a real collector to you? Is because I wasn't worried about collecting. I was worried about scoring 40,000 NBA points.
Exactly. I was worried about going to the finals 10 times in a row.
You dig? Redeem team. That was us. You know what I'm saying?
I've literally seen people that I was working with, artists and stuff like that claim, I want to make it, I want to do this, and this, and have the financial means to really invest in their career and take it to the next level. No lie, hand to the man. I had an opportunity where it was an artist I was working with. I secured a Tory Lanez feature for him. Tory Lanez was going to do the hook and the fucking verse for this nigga for $12,000. He was in Miami. Lanez was in Miami. They had the studio booked out. They had a Grammy-nominated producer was going to do the beat on the house. Like, no, just pay Tory, whatever. We'll work it out on the back end. Come do the joint or whatever. This nigga at this club, G5, the song never got fucking done. And then it's just like, then you come home and then you like buy a bitch like a $5,000 dog. And I'm just like, dog, what the fuck is going on here?
You buy a bitch a $5,000 dog. And I'm like, dog.
So it's like, you won't take $12,000 and invest in something that.
It was the fact that you said dog.
Dog,
like,
yeah, dog.
You buy a bitch a $5,000 dog. And I'm
so it's like, dog, you gonna motherfucking skip the opportunity to work with this prolific ass artist. And this is obviously before Tory super blew up because it was $12,000, but he already had Say It and all. He was already a household name. You didn't pay $12,000 for that, but you spent all this money on all this experiential bullshit that you're not even going to really fucking remember tomorrow, because you're going to go and repeat it and go do the same thing in another fucking city tomorrow, but you won't spend this money to invest in your fucking career. Make this make sense to me.
Yeah, nigga, because we on.
Right, we lit, nigga.
We what they say, we having. Yeah,
we having things.
We having it, nigga. Like, yes.
And that was one of the moments where it's like, yo, I don't need to be in the music business no more. Niggas valued all the wrong shit.
LeBron literally said, don't focus on the bullshit. Because it's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's jewelry, all this shit.
The hoes, the dinners at Mastro's, all that shit. It's all bullshit,
it will
man.
Come. And I say that shit a lot. Like, if you just lock in and focus on the job, you will make money. Yes. You ever seen somebody who go to work every day, just on a regular basis? They go to work every day. They do double time. They do double ups. They do overtime. You know what happens on Friday? They get paid. Yep. You go back and they do it again and again and again. Like, that's the way the world works. So what he was saying was, for you as young people who are blessed with this opportunity to play this game and make this exorbitant amount of money, don't you want to prolong it? You know what's cooler than a max deal? Another max deal. And you know what's cooler than that, right?
A third.
Another max deal. Like, you know, LeBron is literally on his 22nd year of like big ass contracts.
Yeah.
Like LeBron took a small deal when he went to Miami just so they could pay Bosh and Wade.
Yeah.
And then he bounced from that, and it's just like, yeah, I just need 30 M's a year because I make another 80 over here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, like you get to that point though from scoring 27 a game, throwing 8 assists a game, and grabbing 7.5 rebounds a game for a career. And if you do that, all of these things, and that's the point, I guess, tying in the watch community shit. Think about it. I don't have to sit at the auction and try to fight motherfuckers. I don't need to know the AD to get this at the retail because I'm LeBron.
Yeah.
I got a couple Billy. Just bring the shit to my house.
How much? What's the reserve price? Did they meet the reserve yet? I'll put $1 million on a reserve.
You had lunch with the AD and you bringing the AD a dog and you washing the AD car. I was at
you
practice.
making scrambled eggs for the AD and shit. Yeah, I'm making breakfast.
I was at practice with AD. You understand what I'm saying? And then when I leave from practice, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna call the motherfucking whoever got it off of Chrono and say, yeah, bring that shit to my house. That's the point he was making. And the comments was just mad people missing all of that for like, oh, you got money, so you feel like you could tell people what to do. I'm just like, yo, what? Yeah. They asked the man, do you have any? He could have, they asked.
Have any wisdom you like to impart to the younger generation?
What if LeBron would have just been like, fuck them niggas? Then what?
Y'all some pussy ass. He went full Pimp C.
Yo, imagine if he'd have been like, fuck them, and then cut on Broke Boys on his stereo. And the very like, what the fuck? They asked him his advice for young players, and I thought he gave a true, honest answer.
Yeah.
Focus on this.
Focus on the game.
On this. Look at Ja Morant. Focus on this, dog. You got 25 games this year. You're not getting paid. You make $200,000-$300,000 a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Focus on this shit.
Sound like an L to me.
Focus on this. If you focus on this, everything else falls in line. He said, focus on the game, then focus on your family, then focus on the game again. That's it.
That should sound like some brilliant advice.
That's
to
some
me.
brilliant shit. Some brilliant shit. You had, dog, the comments. I'm going to show you. The comments were so egregious, yo. People were literally telling me, like, yo, you're a fucking idiot. What do you mean? Like,
how dare you demand excellence?
Oh, I couldn't believe that shit. I was just like, yeah, that's some weird ass shit, man. But yeah, to the point, like in the grand scheme of things, I don't think Jay said nothing wrong.
He didn't.
I saw people that were making just asinine assumptions out of the shit. I saw people that was like, Blue was embarrassed. I'm like, no, she wasn't. So one of the girls was like, dog, if nothing else, she sees her father sticking up for
her mother.
Not just her mother, but sticking up for the culture.
Yeah.
Sticking up for what's right in the fucking entertainment industry that y'all are at the fucking peak of.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm so lost. I couldn't believe the way people missed the mark in that shit the other day.
Real quick editor's note, because I was wrong. Taylor Swift did not win Song of the Year. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year. She now has a total of 9 Grammys before the age of 23, which is phenomenal. I love Billie Eilish, and she is a super ally to the black fucking community. She got all black creators around her, shit like that. Billie Eilish is super thorough.
Yachty loves her.
Her and her brother, making their music together and shit. Billie Eilish so thorough. She came out as gay, and she was like, yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious. like she's like, I'm not sure. I thought everybody knew already. I be wearing these baggy ass fucking cargo pants and shit. I thought y'all knew I like pussy. But Billie Eilish is super thorough. I love her. And when Yachty said she had big tits like Billie Eilish, but she couldn't sing, she posted it on her Instagram. So she could take a joke. She's not a little delicate flower like the rest of them.
You're making me think about something. I'm about to
Oh yeah, and shout out my boo, my baby, somebody who was first team all POM, Coco Jones. She won best R&B performance for I See You. So congrats to her on her first Grammy as well.
Let me get to the bottom of this for a second. Hold on now. Cause you're making me
Sorry for the dead air, y'all. Said a hip hop. I can rap for y'all if y'all like, so I can cut the dead air. I walked in my mailroom the other day. Listen to this. I walked in my mailroom the other day. There's a painting on the wall, like one of them little art joints you get from like Target or some shit. And I'm reading the joint. It's like it said a hip hop. The hip. I said they got rappers to light on the fucking wall in the mail. Like who ordered this shit? Like, who was responsible? Like regular art. Y'all they had to put this rapidy rap shit up here. What's wrong with y'all? If y'all gonna do it, put Kodak Black Super Gremlin up here. If y'all gonna do that. Hip hop, it's infectious. Like, how can you not?
I was looking at Beyonce's Grammys that she won. She won Best Urban Contemporary Album for Lemonade, and then she won Best Music Video for Formation. She was nominated for Record of the Year and Song of the Year for Formation, but she didn't win. Because I was trying to think if she won any. She did win her category, which was the Best Urban Contemporary Album.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, because Taylor Swift didn't win Best Song or Best Record.
Right. She won Best Album
of the Year.
Yeah, Album of the Year.
Which is kind of wild. Okay. But yeah, to my point though, I was about to say, this is LeBron. The cars, the jewelry, and all the other dumb shit don't matter. It means absolutely nothing. Worry about the game and everything will take care of itself.
The jewelry and all the other that don't matter means absolutely nothing. And I see a lot of these young kids, they get so unfocused about stuff that is so material that they can lose their focus. Just worry about the game. I mean, you worry about the game, everything will take care of itself. You worry about the game, you worry about your family, and then worry about the game some more. And be selfish too. It's okay to be selfish because you have to be a little bit selfish to be able to be great. Some people have to fall to the wayside at times.
And he said that, and it just set off the first comment. Providing for your family does matter. Nobody can tell me otherwise, not even this nigga. The girl's like, are you on crack? He literally said, focus on the game. And I'm like, yo, this is the shit I be talking about. He literally said, focus on the game, focus on your family, and then focus on the game some more. So what are you saying? He says this while wearing a $300,000 watch. Yeah, he's the king. He has several $300,000 watches. You know why? Because he's made over $1 billion. This is an idiot comment. Crazy, because all he do is talk shit now. Like, huh?
What? That was some solid advice. And the way that fucking Gen Z versus the millennial generation receives advice, it's night and fucking day.
This nigga cracks me up like he wasn't rolling around in an H2 Hummer when he was 17. And said, well, yeah, Nike gave him a lifetime deal. So he had to get a fucking car.
God forbid he have an automobile.
God forbid the nigga drive. Yo, man. Like, straight up. People are gonna discredit his advice, and it's so a shame. Then the comment says, well, yeah, he's talking as if he wasn't dead broke in high school. And then the other comment says, nigga, he's from Akron.
Everybody's dead broke. It's fucked up in Akron. I don't know if you've been there. Youngstown, Akron, Dayton, all of that shit is fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Decimated by those factories closing, man.
But I honestly, and I guess that's the whole premise of this whole show. When you're black, you're taken the wrong way all the time.
Yes.
It don't matter what you do. It don't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's always taken the wrong way all the time.
And that's something that is hard to exist in. Because it's like, what if you're not LeBron, you're not Beyonce, you're not Jay-Z, and it's like you're the black guy in the C-suite at whatever motherfucking company or whatever the case may be, and you're always taken the wrong way. You're always the angry black man, or you're making some misguided point they say, or whatever, and you could be absolutely right, but because the room you're in, you're intentionally being taken fucking wrong or misunderstood.
Have you watched Manhunt yet on HBO Max?
No.
About the Osama bin Laden mission?
No, I gotta watch that. So
it was a bunch of women who were basically the ones that were hunting him down for the government, like the NSA and CIA and all that shit. And it was like 4 or 5 women who were doing all the different like field operative things and putting together all this analysis or whatever. And the girl is like, it was so annoying because they told us we were overly invested and we were overly like passionate about trying to find him. And she's like, well, yeah, you have to be passionate about anything you do. And she was like, I would watch like men who worked in the office where if they were passionate, it was like, oh, he's a true American. But if you're a patriot, if you're a woman and you were overly passionate, it's like, oh, you're too emotional and you're too invested. And it's just like, no, I'm doing my job to the best of my fucking abilities. And it's just like, yeah, like that level of getting misunderstood.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating. The lady's literally crying on the documentary. Yeah. Like it meant something to us because it's like, 3,000 people died in that building. Like, so
yeah, motherfuckers will use coded language to disrespect you or to demean you and shit like that. And it's like that shit is a tough pill to swallow. And it's like, yo, a lot of times when you're a woman of any race, when you're a man of any type of ethnicity, be it, with like Black, Latin, whatever, a lot of times it's like once you reach certain pinnacles, you're actually breaking barriers. Like you're the first this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? Not can you imagine, but have you seen all the first Black this and that's that was going on 2023? And I'm like, wait, we still having first Black shit in 23 and 24?
I literally had this question with one of my homegirls. I mean, this conversation with one of my homegirls yesterday. I'm like, it's 2024 and we're still having first Blacks. The first Black to do this, the first Black to go there, the first Black to get accepted to this.
Civil Rights Act was 1964.
Dog.
That was 60 years ago.
Dog.
We still having first Blacks to do stuff.
First Blacks. I said that yesterday. That is crazy. I literally said that yesterday.
It's nuts. So it's like, yeah. So it's like, when you break certain barriers and you get into certain rooms and stuff like that, you're gonna be the first Latin male, the first Latin female, the first Black woman, the first Black male to do whatever. And a lot of these places are good old boys clubs where it's like it been the same motherfuckers. It's a lot of nepotism. It's a ton of favoritism, and it's a lot of monolithic thinking. And when you come in with an alternative perspective, motherfuckers is looking at you like you got 10 motherfucking heads and you could be absolutely dead to rights. And it's like motherfuckers will just look at you like, oh yeah, that's great. So what do you got, Kip? Like, it's like, that's a tough fucking space to be in. So yeah, before we get out of here, I do want to talk about the Roc Nation brunch getting canceled. This is actually a little bit alarming because this is the second huge event that Roc Nation canceled in the last 6 months.
What was the other one?
Made in America.
Oh yeah, well, that was Lizzo fault.
Yeah, they canceled Made in America. Outside looking in, it appears that they're either trimming down their events arm or they're restructuring altogether. And a lot of people don't know Roc Nation's events arm is based out of Philadelphia. Yeah, they're in. They were in one of the towers or whatever. They're looking for new office space and stuff. They're looking to move, but they came across Billy Penn. They were potentially interested in going over there or whatever like that. But yeah, so 2 marquee events chalked back to back. There's been rumors that I've been hearing. It's not like out and about, but I'll just say it on the show. Fuck it, that Jay is basically looking to sell Roc Nation, like either sell the other half of it back to Live Nation or they come together, sell it to another entity or whatever like that with all of the different verticals integrated, which is why Jay Brown and Tata don't have job titles with Roc Nation no more. They just are chair people or whatever, and they hold seats on the board and they own collectively they own 50% of the company together, those 3. So it kind of speaks to that, to where maybe it's like, yo, it might be time to, just pull the ripcord and just move on from this thing and focus on whatever the next 10 years looks like. Because every time Jay does some shit, it's 10 or 20 years in scope. You look at fucking Armand to bring that fucking a 20-year view on that, boom, you turn around, you sell it to LVMH at the end of that shit. You look at Duce, that was a 10-year view on that. You go through the whole shit with fucking Smirnoff, whatever. You get to the bottom of this with all of that. They get a substantial check, and then they're still promoting the fucking brand. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he does anything, with less than a 10 or 20 year purview on it, because he sees the end of it, and he knows it's like, yo, if we invest enough time, sweat, equity, and resources into this, the orbit around Jay-Z, Beyonce, Roc Nation, Rihanna, all of that will attract enough business to make it viable. So I'm curious to see what the next thing is, but this may or may not be the moment where they're looking to get out of the Roc Nation business altogether and move on.
Do you think the brunch is done?
It's interesting because considering how big the Grammys was this year and how much
it was definitely one of the highest rated Grammys in recent years.
It's surprising that they would cancel it this year.
To be all the way fair, it's one of the first Grammys that I watched.
I watched into it,
straight through, and like you said earlier, they didn't even show none of the rap categories,
and I still watched it. It was still a very well put together show.
Do you miss? Well, see, you still on Twitter. Remember when we used to watch award shows?
Oh, together as a family?
Yeah, I miss that time.
Yeah, it's not really the same. Everybody had, I think collectively as Black folk, we all were, rooting for SZA, Coco Jones, and Victoria. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much evident. The Killer Mike news broke. By the time he got his 3 awards. He was already in
he's
cuffs.
already booked.
He was already booked.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what that was about. He called in the Big Tigger's radio show, but he just basically downplayed the incident or whatever. But it's like, nigga, if you end up in cuffs on the biggest night of your life, that's a big deal. We need to talk about this. We need to figure this out.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just like mistaken identity or I have no clue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was wild.
They thought it was Vince Wilfork. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it was weird. But yeah, with the brunch, I
know niggas was sick. Like, what we gonna do now? Where we gonna go now and not eat? Like, we're gonna go now and not eat and try to get close to Jay. Where we gonna go? Like, Jay ain't fucking with niggas. He got his family out. Like, what's going on, man?
Yo, man.
Talk to me, Tata.
I swear to God, for all the people who have been at the Roc Nation brunch, I was like, if they're serving food,
I've never seen
hide it well. They hide that shit well.
You probably sign a disclaimer when you come in. Don't take no pictures with no food.
Because I've never seen a scrambled egg,
that
turkey.
shit probably all light bites.
No, I ain't seen a turkey toast, avocado toast, or whatever. Like, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I ain't seen a little smoky.
Dog. A little smoky.
Little mini sausage. I ain't seen no little smokies or nothing. I ain't seen no egg frittatas.
What Cole say on the joint? Horse divers. I ain't seen nothing. Even we went to the breakfast, we had the egg loaf.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen nothing. And one of our good friends, he got invited to the Roc Nation brunch one year and he didn't go. And literally he was like, yo, my friends was like, nigga, what? Like, you ain't go to the brunch? And he just like, fuck no, I don't care about that shit. And I kind of always did look at it as like, it was just how close can I get to Hove Fest? Mm-hmm. That was how it felt. And then when I saw, shout out Nori and them on Drink Chance, when I saw Nori say, I've seen grown men like leave their wives in the hotel. You see what you're saying? I've seen grown men leave their wives in the hotel like, oh, no, baby, I only got 2 tickets from, me and the bro.
Me and bro.
And I keep it a buck with you, dog. And I'll tell you, you never have to worry about that. If we get invited to anything, I'm bringing my wife.
Right.
And that's just what it is. You see how, yeah. I'm bringing my wife. And it's like, if we get invited to something like that and they like, oh, you only got 2 tickets, I just won't be, you can go and take it. Because I'm not that person. Like, I'm not going to sit her. And to hear that niggas was doing that lets me further know that it's really like, nah, whatever I got to do.
Yeah. I mean, in the words of Pastor Crawdad, y'all are all wrapped up in idolatry. Like, that's all this shit is. It's like, y'all want to create the perception of success and your proximity to successful people and iconic people and all of that shit to the detriment of your day-to-day life. Because how do you go back after the brunch and then have a good home life?
Hey, man, I got a picture with Hove and T.I. Like, what?
They don't show the food, but they had these chicken tenders. They had like it wasn't quite Chipotle. Yeah. It wasn't quite, but it was very tasty.
Some type of Santa Fe.
It was very tasty. Something from the New Mexico region. It was very tasty.
The New Mexico region, right on the border.
Right on the.
Yo, seriously, man. And knowing that, it just always had me feel a little bit like Heaven's Gate. A little bit of cult going on, and it always seemed a little sketchy to me, man. Like, it felt very, very Waco, Texas-ish, just very strange. And for what it's worth, that became like the nigga go-to or like the reason to be in. Because think about it. You would see motherfuckers at the Roc Nation brunch that ain't even going to the Grammys.
That ain't even invited to the Grammys. You weren't invited here, but you are here. So you definitely wasn't invited to the Grammys, which is the reason why we all in the city.
He wasn't invited.
Niggas scaling the fence at the motherfucking Roc Nation brunch and shit. Like they at rehab trying to see Floyd. Like, that shit is crazy.
Bleak said that shit. He's like, yo, I seen motherfuckers like wiggle their way into the brunch. It's just like, it ain't that serious.
It's not that deep, blood.
Like, yeah, it's just some tea and Hove and Puff in the middle of the courtyard. Like, it ain't that serious, man. And, for what it's worth, I get networking and I understand, these mixer events. And, we do that type of shit. But it just, the Roc Nation brunch became like again, it became very like cult-like.
Yes.
That was how it felt for the people who were like breaking their necks to attend. Like, and like to what you just said, Carl said, it was like if you go, it was like almost like a knighting for niggas. Like, yeah, you know, I was at the brunch.
Niggas go buy 30 Roc Nation hats.
Paper planes everywhere.
It's annoying as shit. Like
I said recently, I'm like, old men love those war veteran hats. They're like Roc Nation hats for old men. Like, yeah. U.S. Naval 33, right? They get that hat. They go to Denny's on Veterans Day and get their little Grand Slam. That shit real. Like, but yeah, I never really had like a over the top love or like lore for the brunch. It was just like any other industry event, but niggas took it and ran with it. And when you see those pictures, remember that one where Hov looked so over niggas? Remember they did like the zoom in on his face and he's in the middle of the crowd, Jim Jones and Swiss Visa, and Hov's just like looking at the camera. I'm like, dog, bro, sick of that shit. Like,
I really know these people. This is ass. Like, this is fucking ass.
I gotta stop clicking accept so fast in the email. I am an idiot. Like,
we need a better filtration system for these niggas.
Up. Rest in peace to the Roc Nation brunch, though, man.
Yeah, it might be over, man.
It might be over.
Might be over.
Ran its course.
We gonna see.
Maybe a bowling party. You know what I'm saying? Rent out all the lanes.
Rock a bowl.
Rock a bowl. Yo, man.
Yeah.
Straight up. Did anything else pop this week?
Not really, but two little quick little things, and then we could wrap it up. One thing is I'm just confused about. Maybe y'all can help me. I'm seeking clarity. How did we end up back in the Benzinoverse in 2024?
In the what?
Benzinoverse. You know who Ray Benzino is?
What's going on with him?
He's everywhere. Like, Benzino has been on No Jumper. He's been on the Danza Pride. He's been everywhere in the last 2 weeks.
You know what's crazy? I saw Benzinoverse. I thought that was like a car,
like a real place.
Yeah, like, I didn't know what was going on.
No, we are back trapped in the Benzinoverse. He's beefing with Eminem again. So
you know, yeah.
He's beefing with Eminem again.
I saw somebody the other day was like, I hope we don't have to go through this Eminem Benzino shit again.
Yes, we do.
And now I get why the fuck they said that. All right.
He has admitted that he had ghostwriters that wrote his latest diss to Eminem called Rap Elvis. He said, man, they said, man, you know, as soon as I heard this, like, you know, everybody was like, the reporter was like, yeah, as soon as I heard it, everybody around me was like, yo, did you hear this? This shit is phenomenal. Like, what's going on? And they was like, yeah, everybody was like, yeah, who wrote it? So Benzino's like, all right, man, shit, y'all, all right, I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, all right, man, was I in the studio? Yes. Was it some rappers there? Also, yes. Did they help me out with some direction and here and there? Also, yes. You know what I'm saying? But out of all of the diss records that we done passed all the years, you mean to tell me ain't nobody from D12 or G Unit gave this nigga a line? I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think it's all fair in love and war. So I was watching a video on my way over here. You know who Marv One is, right?
Yeah.
Battle rap from Detroit, whatever like that. He infamously battled Eminem. He's the one that beat Eminem at whatever, Scribble Jam, whatever it was.
Right.
He's the one that beat Eminem is Marv One, who's an absolute battle rap legend and a Detroit legend. So he's doing an interview on Rap Grid, which is a battle rap platform, and he's talking, and he's like, what are the first thing that came to mind when you heard the Benzino Eminem diss? Who wrote it? He's like, why is that? He said, because he said the first or second line of the diss is like, when you gonna settle? When it's been 22 years since you battled against Marv One. What was the outcome of that battle? Marv One. He said, Benzino don't know the fuck I am. Yeah. He said, so from that alone, I know you got rappers around you. It's no way in hell you came up with that shit on your own, because when y'all beefed all them years ago, I had already beaten Eminem in a battle. Why didn't you bring it up then? Because you didn't have that reference point from somebody that was around you to be able to put pen to pad and tell you to say this shit.
Right.
So he was just like, listen, man. He said, I love Marshall. He's my friend. He said, I'm not getting involved in this shit. I don't even know why I'm involved in it or why he mentioned me. He said, I'm never going against Marshall for fucking Benzino. This is stupid. So I don't know what was the point him like bringing this up. And then Icewear Vezo said something similar because he had went on Math Hoffa podcast and he basically criticized Marshall for not, tapping in with the newer generation or whatever. So then he put a video out and was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck Benzino on. Ain't you like a Boston nigga or something? I ain't never going against a Detroit nigga for no nigga from out of town. You got me fucked up. I don't know what you think this is. I have nothing but respect for Marshall. I think he's phenomenal. He helped out everybody from his generation. All I was saying is the generation that came after, he didn't fuck with us. That's all I'm saying. But he's an absolute legend. He's one of the best rappers to ever come out of Detroit. Leave me out of y'all shit. So it's just caused all of this blowback because Benzino is broke. He's down on his dick. He's messy. His daughter hate him. And he got fucking arrested trying to rumble his girl side nigga on like court TV in some little small county in Georgia.
Yo, man.
He just got a fucked up life.
There's a funny ass court show that comes on A&E and it's hosted by Judge Mathis, and Judge Vonda, the woman that be yelling at people in the courtroom.
Yes.
So now they're like comedic judges, and they're being like they're holding like they call it like court night in America. Or some shit.
Yeah.
So they basically
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
So they basically do pop-up court around the country.
Okay.
So they'll have a pop-up court in like Tampa, a pop-up court in Atlanta, and then like a pop-up court in like LA or something. Each pop-up court is in a different location. They did one here in Philadelphia. You know where they was at? Uncle Jack's restaurant on Fairmount Avenue. So
we gonna get this shit straight over some ribs.
Go to smokehouse. Get this motherfucking court together. The one in Tampa, they was in the food court of the mall. I say, yo, man, what the fuck?
They more down bad than us. They just pulling up shooting anywhere.
So they did one joint. It was at a pop-up at like a what they call it? Like a bar, but like what's the difference?
Like a pub.
Like a pub style whatever. I can't think of the word. But anyway,
like a speakeasy?
Like a speakeasy type joint.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly how it looked. But it was the court and the speakeasy said that the judge, bailiff, all that bullshit. When it came on, it was like the girl was the plaintiff, whatever, and she's suing the two co-defendants. The two co-defendants was Stevie J and Benzino. Yeah, all right. I had enough of this shit, man. I turned it off. I said, I had enough of this. I said, this is anything. I said, what the fuck? These niggas was doing pop-up court in the basement speakeasy.
God damn it.
I said, Stevie J and Benzino on anything.
Anything.
This is nothing. Oh, the shit was so silly. The judge was like, the bailiff name, let's say his name was like Don something. He was like, Don was, the nigga had a martini at the bar in a full bailiff outfit. I said, yo, man, this is a fucking joke. But it's just like, you see shit like that and you just like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? To see Jay when Charlamagne like, would you ever do reality TV? And Jay like, what? What?
He was disgusted. He scoffed at the idea.
He said, what? Like, gotta be crazy, Jack. And seeing that is just like, come on, yo. So it's like to find out 2024 that Benzino is still dissing Eminem.
Still on bullshit.
And still trying to, it's just like, bro, what I say last week? No diss track is about to help us out in life.
At all.
We don't need this shit.
Hashtag defund diss track.
Hashtag get the fuck out of here. I got a y'all weird of the week. I hate to do it because I love Meek Mill. Did you see Meek Mill go off the other day about why Rod Wave wasn't nominated for a Grammy?
Bro.
Yo, man. Meek Mill went on a whole rant the other day about why Rod Wave ain't nominated for a Grammy, even though he was selling out arenas and people were singing his music all over the country. And it's like the voting for awards ended in August. Rod Wave came out September 15th.
Again, that's niggas though. Strong and wrong. Don't even know the criteria, the qualifications, or none of that shit.
Strong and wrong. It's crazy. That's real. I was just like, why the fuck don't Meek got a handler to just be like, nah, OG, don't tweet that one.
But he tweeted about the fact that he was like, "Yeah, my team tried to take my social media and all of that." It's like, dog, what's wrong with you? Like, just get off Twitter.
that shit made its way to Facebook. It was all people like,
yeah, on Twitter, I seen the shit. I didn't even reply. I just put Grammy cutoff date 8/31, Ride Wave album release 9/15, and just like
the Grammy voting ended. It was like the August 29th or whatever. August
31st.
31st, yeah. And then his shit came out September 15th. It's like, it ain't even no overlap. It ain't like a day of overlap.
No.
It just completely missed
16 days, Jack. A difference.
Somebody in one of the comments, you know how you can post pictures in the comments?
Yeah.
Somebody on Facebook in one of the comments was like, it was the mayor of Chicago, the little lady.
Oh, Lori Lightfoot.
It was the mayor of Chicago pointed. It was like, never forget, these celebrities are morons. I was dying. Like, yeah, man, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
when you find out most celebrities dumb as a brick,
Bruh.
like it'll make you feel. It can make you feel one of two ways. It can make you feel okay with the fact that like you have all your faculties and all of your sense or whatever, and you didn't have to go through whatever ritual that they went through to get where they got, or it can make you like even more pissed and more resentful of like how this dumbass motherfucker end up with making all this goddamn money.
I think that is he's not alone.
No.
I think he's on par with the way everybody is kind of on social media now, where there are very few people who go to the actual facts of what happened. So much so that think about when you bring up stats or facts, people will get mad at you for that shit. I've literally had people.
Oh, you got evidence, nigga?
I've had people be like, oh, you on some weird shit, bringing up stats and shit. And it just be like, what the fuck else was I supposed to bring up?
Raw emotion, nigga.
Yeah. You don't drink grape soda? Nah, like that shit is crazy.
I had 4 sugar daddies today, nigga. I'm going to the moon with this.
I seen that the other day. I was like, what in the fuck? But yeah, that's definitely my
wrapping up the show, man. We appreciate everybody for watching, for listening. If you made it this far, make sure y'all again subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you get notifications. Y'all want more content like this, subscribe to us on Patreon for free. We're doing 7-day free trials on Patreon, patreon.com/officialtrpe. Check us out over there. Last topic of the day, Drake and J. Cole officially kicked off the Biggest the What tour, which is the second leg of the, what the fuck was the first name of the tour? It Was All a Blur.
It Was All a Blur.
Second leg of the It Was All a Blur tour.
I was about to say Lovers and Friends. Like, that ain't it.
Apparently, Lovers and Friends is janky. Juvenile cursed him out this week. He said, Lovers and Friends, I don't know who behind this. Y'all put me on a flyer. You ain't gave me no money.
Oh, shit.
Y'all got to pay the Juvenile. So
I say, new hookah, no nothing.
So they kicked off the tour.
Y'all got to pay the Juvenile.
Y'all got to pay the Juvenile.
Yeah.
Tour kicked off in Tampa, sold out. It was a success. They're doing all like B and C markets for this, second leg of the tour. It got pushed back like a week or whatever for production stuff and everything like that. But it's happening.
Heavy
it's
on
real.
the B and C market.
Yeah.
Because I looked for the Philly show. I did not see
it. It is not on that joint.
I saw Lafayette, Pennsylvania. I'm like, I don't know where that's at. Like,
so they're doing all the college towns is where they going. And so the show sold out or whatever. I'm not sure when the next show is, but they recently added, Lil Durk is having a good week. Lil Durk just got added to the tour as support. So now you got Drake, J. Cole, and Lil Durk on tour. That's going to be phenomenal. A great ticket. Durk has an explosive, like a nice 40-minute set list that he does now that I've seen in concert, over the last like 7-8 years. That's just continuing to just improve and get better and better and better with his overall catalog. So other than that, man, I got nothing else.
Is there name an artist who you'd like to see in concert?
I want to see Kanye.
You never seen Kanye in concert? Yeah, we went to the joint in LA.
Yeah, that. But but that was the only time. But it's like I want to see Kanye, and that was a one-off. I want to see Kanye full tour mode production. Hopefully he don't cancel the shit on the fourth show.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see him ever doing another like concert.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, he could, but I don't think
he has the mental fortitude to get through it.
No.
So,
not
but
like when he was doing glow in the dark and all of that.
Right.
Shit. I don't see that.
Yeah, I'm the one I'm most sick about. I missed the Yeezus tour.
For me, it was glow in the dark.
Yeah. I missed both of them. My cousins, we was at their store in Northern Liberties. They like, yo, we going to the concert right now. Do you want to go? I'm like, festival out there. I ain't with all that shit. And sure enough, they was like, you are a dickhead. Like we had the time of our lives at the Glow in the Dark tour.
First concert I was going to by myself. You know, oh man, that album, and Vic was like, come on, I boys.
Yeah.
I was on the way by myself.
Glow in the
Did you go?
Dark.
Yeah,
Okay. And it was like that.
because the production, he go over.
Yeah,
Nigga had a mountain on stage for Yeezus tour.
Yeah, he said on the Watch the Throne tour, he was mad because Jay like calmed him down as far as the budget.
Yeah.
He's like, Jay was hating.
They would have made shit.
Yeah.
And that still was one of the best tours. I went to Watch the Throne too. So I saw Kanye.
Jay like, nah, but we got just Irv got it. You know what I'm saying? Guru, and man, we good. We don't need all that extra shit. Yeah. Silly as shit. But yeah, no, for me, I want to see Lil Wayne in concert.
Yeah, I've seen Wayne. I saw Wayne at the Leah Chorus.
I saw Wayne at where the fuck did we go that we saw Lil Wayne? It was down south. I can't remember. It was in Atlanta.
Yeah, I saw Wayne at the Leah Chorus Center. Then I saw him at Wells Fargo with the I Am Young Money tour. It was him, the whole Young Money, and he had Rick Ross with him too.
Okay.
And they did like Hollywood Squares the way that they did the show. They had Hollywood Squares was the stage setup, and then it's like Wayne opened, did the middle and closed, and he had the whole Young Money except Drake on tour. So he had Nicki Minaj on tour with him too, and he would come out, do whatever. The square light up, whoever the feature was would get on there, perform, come down and stay. Like it was crazy.
Oh, dope. Yeah.
And then Ross had a set in the middle, Nicki had a set, and then Wayne closed again.
Yeah, no, I would like to see Lil Wayne. You know, what
I
I'm
know
saying?
Wayne got 3 hours of just like
Yeah. And
bangers.
he's doing smaller venues now where it's a lot more, one-to-one.
We tried to book him for San Diego for the bar guy for Baron for his spot for Supper Club in San Diego, and I was just like, yo man, I was like, I'm like Wayne doing these 3,000 and 4,000 person venues. He can't be commanding that much. Fucking Javi showed me the tour request. He was getting 150,000 a night. Still in a 3,000 capacity venue. He's getting 150,000 a night. He said, you're getting 150,000 a night. So it's like, I don't know what your offer is. I'm like, all right, let me go back to the drawing board. Like, price this shit out. I'm like, we was trying to give him like 40,000 to come to the Supper Club. It couldn't align. They still wanted. Yeah, that was with a podcast interview and some more shit. We was maxed out. We still couldn't get the number.
Man. Yeah, but I got nothing else.
Yeah, Wayne is cracking skulls. I would love to see Wayne again as well. We love y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Another 2-hour episode. We just gave y'all an hour and 40 minutes early this week, man. We working hard. Again, if y'all not on the Patreon yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. The shit is free for 7 days. Tap in on Patreon, patreon.com/officialtrpe. We are out.
We out this bit.